It's time to talk about the truth about shooting in NBA 2K24. You're about to improve big time, and I got a lot in store for you. So lock in for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Coach M, and we have to break down shooting. I want to explain first and foremost, you're doing the right thing already by watching videos. Use your resources. There's plenty of people out there, whether they're live streaming or content creating, that can help you basically get better at shooting. And I am going to do my best and give you all the tips and tricks and break things down into detail. So that's first thing. Make sure you comment and leave some questions. I'm happy to answer, maybe make a video and so forth. All right, here we go. So, first things first, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to pay close attention. It's going to be a lot going on. I'm going to start off with the settings. The reason for this is because this is the only way that you can utilize the proper gameplay mechanics to go forward. Okay, so we're gonna go into animations. We're gonna go into create a jump shot. There's plenty of players that are pros, players that are content creators that have jumpers that are really good. Doesn't mean that it's gonna be the one for you. There's plenty in here that I have that I like, but are not for me. For example, this is one of the fastest in the game. It's too fast, and I don't like the way the arm arcs, so I did not choose it, even though I made it and I love it. It's just way too fast, and it doesn't have the good arc of the wrist and arm for me. My jumper is very different, so I chose to stay with that one. So this is my jumper. As you can see, my hands are above my head, and then I let it fly. This is a very good visual cue for me that's going to help me drastically. So other people maybe want like the one I just showed you where it's right in front of my face. I can't really see that from behind with the camera angle I used. And it's so quick that it's not efficient for me. Now, there's plenty of jumpers that you can just select as well. This isn't a jumper video, but I just wanted to break that down. Once you get a jumper that you think is good or someone recommended, etc., that is when you, before anything, you're going to go into a facility. Personally, I like to go see the art of shooting. We'll get into that in just a minute about lethal zones. I have a video about lethal zones. We're not going to break that down. We're just going to get in here. And in here, I want to test my jumper, right? I put on a new jumper here. So let's just test this out, see if I can hit a quick shot live. Banger. It was a little late. Hey, it went in. And there we go. So 2 shots in a row. Cool. This feels good. Let me check my settings. What do I have it on? Controllers. I'm going down to shot timing visual cue. And this is something that somebody requested to me to break down. It's funny because I'm making this video just for them. So jump is as I jump is when the ball will release. This isn't for every jumper. It's going to be the same. It's very different. Some jumpers have high jumps. Some of them have slower ones. So this one right here, for example, I'm letting it fly as I jump. So it's like a very fast release for me. And it's a little too quick. I literally just tapped the button almost. Feels way too quick. So I'm going to speed it up. And the second one is set point. What does that mean? That means specifically when I plant my feet and I'm ready to let the ball go. So that set point of my arm and feet bending basically. And it's different for each jumper. Remember, they have different animations. So this one feels okay. It's almost my speed, but it isn't exactly how I like it. And then now I'm going to give myself a little bit later, which is the normal default, which is where everybody has it. On push. Why? Push is exactly when my wrist arm will extend to release the ball. So then that is a better flow for me. That feels really smooth for me. As you can see, I'm greening twice in a row there. Full greens. And that's a miss. I did a little early. It still went in. As you can see, this is my normal shot timing that I have for this jumper. So I was able to hit. All right, so I'm going to go into controllers, and then I'm going to start tweaking certain things. For example, The visual cue, take your time. The last one is on release. This is the very last second, right when the ball is getting out of your hand, is when you're going to release it. But it depends on the jumper. Some jumpers are longer or shorter. So you would have to play with this until you find your comfort zone. Everybody has a different comfort zone. Okay. But that's why I'm telling you to go into this gym and do as I say. Now, secondly, jump shot meter. This should be off. It's 20% extra boost for you. You're going to need it. If you can't shoot, you're going to need it. You're going to say, how can I turn it off if I can't even shoot good? Well, you're going to go down here. You want this to be displayed. Okay. You want feedback to be displayed consistently. So it's good if you have all this off, because guess what? I got the feedback. And where's the feedback? On the bottom left. You're going to see when I shoot. Let's say I shoot a decent one. That's a good one. I'm going to purposely do it late. And then you're going to see, oh, it's a little slightly late. Let's do it very late, right? And I can't miss, guys. What the heck? So I'm in my lethal zone, as a matter of fact. So there it goes. Very late. So guess what? This is how I learned my jumper. Now that it's very late, I'm going to shoot it quick. And let's see how fast that is. And that's slightly early. So guess what? I'm just testing. Now I got it excellent. Okay. Now if I shoot from further out, I think I'm going to start missing these because I'm hitting everything. Boom. So very late. It's too late. Now I want to release a little early. Slightly early. So this is the way you're going to test your jumper. And then boom, full green. And that's behind the actual normal range. So this is the main test, and you don't have to be behind the main range. You can shoot it from the regular. The thing is, I hardly miss from this area because I have hot zones and stuff. So for me, back here is perfect to practice. Slightly late. So guess what? I'm going to release it a little early, and I'm going to watch my visual cue with my hands. I'm going to watch the way I release the ball. And this jumper specifically, if you're paying attention, it actually has a very, very specific. The ball goes up, both hands are in the air, it cocks back, then I release. So that is where my visual cue is, and I just have to make sure I keep trying to time it. As you can see, I timed it good there. These aren't easy shots to hit. We're just practicing, but that is number one on your settings. And there's a bunch of other settings. I do have a video about settings in general, but that is the main one that you want to pay attention to. If you do put your shot meter on, you can turn it larger so you can see it big, and you can place it where you want it. I like it on the side. I don't like it under me. It's way better on the side for me personally. But so that's general breakdown, and there's a bunch of other stuff in here. I personally don't think it matters too much. Not a big deal. Just visual things that if you want them there, you don't. That's fine. But that is the breakdown when it comes to settings. Now, outside of settings, in this gym right here, where I just showed you guys in the game, there's a guy named Chris Matthews. He will let you speak to him and take your hot zones into lethal zones. They're purple just like this. I have a video about that. You can just watch that. But as you can see, I don't have any in this corner. If I come back here, I'm going to set that up with him. It's only once a week. So I have to go to him and do that whenever that comes. I don't really shoot from the corners anyways. I'm really at the top of the key as a point guard shooting these sides. So that's not a factor for me. Okay. But those are just some quick breakdowns on a couple of things. I'm going to get out here and give you guys some more as we go forward. Again, everybody's jumper is different. You want to pick one that you feel comfortable with. For example, I like the ball above my head before I release. So I picked that specific play style. Okay. Now, there is an important thing in this game called the Gatorade gym. And this is important, and you're going to see it right here in the map. On the top left, you're going to go to this Gatorade gym. And in here, never mind getting all your badges and doing everything you got to do to boost your play style. We're not doing that on this video because that's not the point. But in here, you can also go into the gym and practice more actual latency version of the game. This is the number one spot to go. You want to feel the real latency of the gym and understand how your stamina affects your jumper and things like that, this is the place to go. Your stamina is going to affect your jumper. Your adrenaline is going to affect it. So you want to try not to abuse your stamina when it's low. You're going to be shooting a lot slower. So it's going to be a different timing. So pay attention to that. Learn every timing you can. You can see I got into this gym and couldn't get some shots up practicing as I went forward. But that is just an example of what you need to do to be able to master your jumper. Those are just some general tips. Again, there's more, for example, on the badges. What do I need to do here? I want to try to maximize. And how do I do that? You can go into my career, play it on rookie, or go to the parks in the city and play those AI and try to upgrade your badges. You can see my badges are gold and Hall of Fame for the most part. Plenty of them, the ones that I really need and that I use a lot. And then you're going to be able to shoot a little better from that alone. Now, I want to say this, not that you have to do it. As you can see, I don't have any, but if you wanted to, you can get shooting boosts. This is something that a lot of pro players do. It's basically worth it if you get the 10 pack because you'll play a couple games and you'll earn that right back by playing games. Okay, so you get 10 for 1,500 VC, right? And this will give you a little bit of a boost as well as you go forward. And now the final tip, and one that you won't really see much, but I'm going to showcase here, is that when you're in the actual game, there's a really important thing called the takeovers. You can see right here, if we take a pause, and we're gonna zoom in on this section for you guys so you can see it fully and understand what I'm talking about. Okay. This top part that you're seeing right here, this is called the takeover meter. And just so you know, if it's at 0, that's your standard shooting. The higher that goes up, the better you're going to be able to shoot, even if you don't have takeover. The fact that it's high will give you better greens and better shooting. Okay. So focus on this to make your jumper worth wild. Okay. So this is just an example of what you should do. And it's going to change the game for you and make you a better player. You're paying attention to your takeover and not letting it drop. And when it is high, you're going to be able to make more shots. And when it's low and you're missing a lot, or you're doing bad plays, getting turnovers, getting fouls, you will actually lose some of your shooting boost. That's just the way it goes. It's a momentum type of feature in the game that you want to pay attention to, right? Those are the tips that I have for you when it comes to shooting. That's how you're going to improve. This isn't no imaginary trick. The main thing to do is practice. I know nobody wants to hear that, but if you practice everything I just said, you'll end up improving drastically and becoming a way better player overall just from doing that. So hopefully you take the time, you work on everything I just said, maybe replay the video a few times so you can really get through and use those things on a daily basis. Okay, what I like to do is go into these street parks right over here when I first turn the game on, play a couple to get my badges together while I'm practicing my jumper. Then after I do that, I can go into the art of shooting, which I told you, get some shots up in there, and then last but not least, right before I start playing, go into the Gatorade private gyms so that I can get my latency practice, because this is like being in a game. This specific area is really useful because your stamina and the latency for shooting will be there. And that's how you improve drastically. And if you do, please leave a comment about thoughts, questions, or anything you want to see. I got your back. See you on the court.